Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing Clio Chiffon Blur Tint. These were launched by Clio last year, and in this video, I'll be swatching these 3 shades. I've also purchased another 2 new shades from this line, so stay tuned for their swatches as well. Clio Chiffon Blur Tints come in the sleek square container with the window at the bottom that allows us to see each of the shade. I love that it also has this indentation at the side, just like Clio Dewy Blur Tints. The difference in the packaging is that Dewy Blur Tint has a clear glass window, whereas Clio Blur Tint has a frosted one. Oh yeah, I have to give a shout out to these cutest mini packagings as well for having the thumb indentation too. The applicator for the mini and the original size are slightly different. The original size comes in a flat and stiff applicator that is slanted, while the mini one comes in a smaller doe foot applicator that you see in common in the Korean lip tints. Personally, I prefer the original sized wand design as it applies better for this kind of texture. Speaking of texture, it is in a soft and light velvet texture that glides on so smoothly on the lip, yet adheres very well without clumping. This tint also leaves me with a matte blurred lip without it looking dry, as you can see. Clio Chiffon Blur Tint is very much like one of my favorite lip tints, Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint. I find both of them very lightweight. The obvious difference would be the moisture level, which also makes them feel different during the application. Clio Chiffon Blur Tint has a slightly better glide on the lip because of that. I found that Clio Chiffon Blur Tint has some similarities to Peripera Ink the Velvet. I don't know how Clio does it, but the chiffon blur tints have great color payoff and are almost as opaque as Peripera Ink the Velvet tints. At the same time, Clio Chiffon Blur Tint is with much lighter weight on the lip, which I'm really impressed by. As compared to Peripera Ink Mood Matte tints, I don't think that they are very similar. Peripera Ink Mood Matte tints is even more lightweight and glides on the lips much more than Clio Chiffon Blur Tint. If you want to find out what I think Peripera Ink Mood Matte tints are in detail, feel free to check out my review of the new shades from Fall in the Acorn collection. Clio Chiffon Blur Tint is also different from Peripera Ink Airy Velvet tints, as its texture is more similar to that of Peripera Ink Mood Matte Tint. I believe you can clearly see the differences for both of these. And if you still have Peripera Ink Matte Blur tints or used them before, it seems almost like Clio Chiffon Blur Tint only takes the advantages of it and makes its texture way better. Of course, I think that these happen due to the year they are made, price point and availability of the ingredients, as well as technology among many other considerations from brand perspectives. For the transfer test, when blotting it with tissue, they stay put on the lip. When rubbing it with clear cotton pad, there is hardly any staining effect, and due to that, it also comes off very easily with micellar water. In terms of the longevity, I would say it is decent for a texture like this. There is almost nothing left after 6 hours wear with lunch in between. As you may also be curious about the scent, it smells like a fruity candy to me. I don't normally like scented lip products, and this doesn't bother me. I also discovered that it does not have any taste when applying. Shall we now move on to the swatches? The first shade is number 2 Coral Clay. It is described as a bright coral shade that is recommended for warm skin tones. It leans a teeny weeny bit towards neon, but as someone who is also not into neon lip products, this is still acceptable for me. If you are in the similar skin tone as mine, this would work just fine. Next up, number 3, Raspberry Burn is described as a deep red with a drop of raspberry. Though personally, I wouldn't call it a deep red. It looks more like a deep orangey red for me, and my favorite among these 3 shades. As you can see, this is such a lovely shade and brightens up our warm skin tone. And for that, I highly recommend this shade if you are similar skin tone to mine. Another shade, number 6 Hard Point, is a toned down plum pink. It is definitely a true cool tone shade that would look perfect for cooler skin tones. Despite that, I'm glad that this shade still looks flattering on my light medium warm skin tone. So I can pair this with a variety of cool tone makeup looks that I do. Let's take a look at these 3 beautiful shades side by side. For comparison swatches for number 2 Coral Clay, I have number 8 Deep Milk Tea, Peripera Ink Airy Velvet Tint in number 5 Genius Rosy Pink, number 21 Fluffy Peach, number 22 Center Peach, and Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint in number 1 Pomelo Coat. While Deep Milk Tea is more muted than Coral Clay, it looks almost as neon looking as Center Peach, as you can see from the arm swatches. Coral Clay is also more coral and neon looking than Pomelo Coat. For number 3 Raspberry Burn, I have compared it against Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint in number 4 Radwood, Peripera Ink Mood Matte Tint in number 5 Ginger Red, and number 7 Juicy Red, followed by Peripera Ink Third Velvet in number 1 Good Brick. Radwood is definitely browner than Raspberry Burn on my arm. Meanwhile, Good Brick is almost like a dupe for Raspberry Burn, just that Raspberry Burn is more blurring on the lip as they are of different formula. Next, for number 6 Hard Point, what I have for comparison are number 7 Mauve For You, Peripera Ink Mood Matte Tints in number 13 Mauve Pong, Peripera Ink the Velvet in number 17 Rosy Nude, and number 28 Mauveful Nude. Following that is Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint in number 7 Cool Rose Up. Mauve For You is definitely warmer in tone as you can see, and Cool Rose Up does not have much plum to it as compared to Hard Point. The rest of the shades are also more toned down and muted. So what are my final thoughts? I think that this Clio Chiffon Blur tint is so underrated, or rather, I don't see many reviews of them on YouTube. The color range is very wearable and offers everyday kind of shades for both cool and warm skin undertones. The perfect part about this product, in my opinion, is its texture. It lives up to its name, lightweight but blurry. This has become one of my favorite formula, and I fell hard for this texture even more so than I did for Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint. All in all, I highly recommend this for those who find Rom&nd Blur Fudge Tint a little too drying and wish to have just a little more glide during the application. Of course, not considering the price point and shades. Thanks for watching till the end, and I hope that this video was helpful for you. See you in my next video.